Hey everyone, this is Office Hours for February 6th. And Office Hours, if you are new here, is your opportunity to come and ask me questions, and I do my best to give you reasonable answers. I give priority to people who are in the Zoom call, so feel free to join the Zoom. I totally forgot to do that myself, so I'm going to do that as well. And yep, here we go, open Zoom.
Recording in
And I'm
progress.
also going to make sure to share my video on there because I forget to do that sometimes. There we go. And yeah, then after I run out of questions in the Zoom, then I go to the Discord, which is right here. And I'll answer questions there. And then if I run out of questions there, then we go over to the chat. So um, let's see, Taryn has joined us. What's going on, Taryn? How are you doing?
Good to see you again, man. You're streaming a lot
Likewise.
this year. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Cool.
Did you have a question or are you just chilling?
I do have one question.
Sure.
Yeah, so I just like threw up a proposal for a meetup presentation. So super excited, but it's not till like June.
Hmm.
But I have like the YouTube video up, so I've asked my friends. But I'm curious, what's your process for getting feedback on stuff you're planning to like present to? Do you have like go-to people that you ask, or do you just kind of have like a knack for it at this point?
Yeah. So I don't. I don't really ask for feedback too much anymore. But if I was working on something and I really wanted feedback from people, I would probably just live stream a practice. And I've done that before. I've had a couple times where I was in the hotel the night before and I just live streamed me practicing in the hotel and got some good feedback there. Like earlier in my speaking time, I would reach out to specific individuals and send my slides and stuff. I find that like when you're looking for feedback in general, you want to make it as easy as possible for people to give you feedback, and so that means like making a video that somebody can watch instead of just this wall of text, or like please just go through my slides or something. Um, and yeah, just uh, streamlining the feedback receiving process. And you definitely could do like a practice run of your talk in front of somebody too. I've done that before. Lots of the time before I give a conference talk, I will practice it at a meetup. Um, and so now, like, the meetups are my practice. But yeah, does that answer your question?
Yeah, that's actually that was my idea too. Was workshop this at the meetup, see how it
Hmm.
goes. Kind of like you're a comedian almost doing like local clubs, and then you go to the big stage later.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And you can reuse the same jokes and everything too.
Yeah. Okay, now I have like an actual code question, but this might be a little bit too high level or theoretical, or you might not even have an opinion about this, but I'll
Okay.
ask.
Do you need to share your screen or is it just audible?
Audible, it's audible.
Okay.
Because I was thinking about this today at work. Uh, with React server components becoming a thing with React 19 and now React Router v7 and I guess Remix technically too,
Hmm.
I think that's been like unlocked for us to use. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I haven't upgraded yet, but with that happening now, where do you see things like Redux and oh my God, what was the new one? Jotai and all these state management solutions kind of fitting in um, with the tech stack.
Yeah, yeah. Like it changes radically, right? Because those, and to be clear, React Router v7 doesn't have support for RSCs yet, but it will get support like in March, so next month. At least that's what they currently have on their roadmap planning. And I hope that does happen because I need to give a workshop at Epic WebConf, and it's going to be about RSCs with React Router. And so if that doesn't exist yet, that will be hard. But yeah, so the thing is that like RSCs change things when it comes to managing server side data, so that you don't really have um, like a cache of that. Now instead of dealing with data, you're dealing with React elements, and so while you could still use something like Redux to store those, you probably won't. Yeah, definitely won't. That said, there's still like, even in an RSC world, you still have um, some like UI state that needs to be managed, complex UI interactions and stuff. Lots of the sort of thing. Like, in fact, even back years and years ago, when everybody was shoving their server state into Redux, I was saying, no, don't do that. Like, that's not the way you do it. You have your client side state that doesn't get persisted in your server side state, and that's not state, that's a cache. And like treating those separate helps a lot. And that's React Query came out and was like, yeah, that's what we're gonna focus on. And so like I would say RSCs are more handle more of the things that you would typically use something like React Query for, whereas like the UI state that you're working with is still probably going to be like it's still useful to have those other state management solutions. Though I don't really use those either, because most of the time use state is just fine. Use reducer for like slightly complex things. I don't really use reducer that often. Typically, if it's complex enough for use reducer, I just jump straight to X state. And X state is awesome. You could probably swap out X state for Jotai or recoil or Zustand or whatever thing people want to use. But like the like core thing I'm getting at is client-side state management will still be a thing, though I do think that like for typical applications, you just use component libraries that manage all of that, like those UI state things like popovers and whatever. And so all that you're left with is like complex stuff that not a lot of people have written stuff for. For example, the Call Kent podcast with this recorder right here, like this thing is using Xstate, and this isn't something that you're like RSCs are going to solve or anything. Like, this is all client-side stuff. So it makes a lot of sense that we would still use some sort of state management. I use Xstate for this. I would continue to do that in an RSC world, and yeah, I don't see that really changing.
Okay, let me summarize this so I'm like sure about my understanding. So RSCs kind of handle more of the stuff that React Query typically handles, right? And then for client-side heavy interactions, you could reach for one of these state management solutions, but you found in your own experience, and mileage may vary, you can get by with use state, and if you need to, you can go grab something like X state, but that really depends on the use case. I guess I wasn't precise enough with my question either, because I have friends who are still working on legacy applications that are like using Redux on the server side too, to like hydrate the store and then dehydrate it on the client side.
Yeah.
So we're all like trying to figure out, well, what do we do now? Because it seems like this isn't something we should be doing, and it's not something we should have been doing for a while now. But especially with React 19 coming, it's like, okay, how do we ditch this? But
Yeah,
yeah.
that was common years ago, and it's definitely not the direction the ecosystem is moving. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. Like, you could continue to make it work that way, but a couple drawbacks with doing that, or with like forking off of what the rest of the community is doing, is that when you have trouble, you're not going to have a lot of people who can help you. And then when you're hiring, you're not going to, like, it's not a very attractive thing to be the one doing something that's completely different from everybody else. And so, yeah, I would say probably a good idea to try and do what everybody else is doing. And so moving off of Redux for those use cases. I really don't want people to get the impression I say, like, move off of Redux for everything. I don't personally use it for anything, and I don't think that I would, but it's still a fine tool for that client-side state stuff. But yeah, the ecosystem is moving in the direction of RSCs for any server loaded stuff, and then form actions for mutations on that side of things, and then regular React state, and occasionally libraries for client, and more often it's component libraries for the stateful kinds of things you need to do. And then just occasionally you need to actually use state. So like a typical React developer probably doesn't need to use state very much at all if you're using RSCs, form actions, and libraries for like your components. Most of your components don't need state, and then only occasionally when you're building some interactive thing that's pretty unique to what you're doing, would you bring in that. Now that said, like maybe at your company you have like really specific needs on those reusable components or something like that, but even still in that scenario, most of the time those companies have an entire team dedicated to the component library, and then the product engineers don't bother with that. And so if you're a product engineer, you probably don't need to use state very much at all. Cool. I have a tendency, Taryn, you know this about me, to take like 10 minutes to answer a really quick question.
I appreciate how thoughtful, precise, and deliberate you are. And I'm trying to be more like that now too, because I find it really helps when you're trying to talk about these kind of topics, when you're like really thoughtful about what you're saying. So
Well,
thanks.
thank you. I do try to do that. All right, sweet. So we're gonna bring over the Discord now, and unless you had any other questions, Taryn, are you good?
I'm good for now, but don't worry,
Okay.
I'll be back.
Okay, sounds good. And let's see where we left off. I'm pretty sure I answered this question. If I posted after it, I'm sure I answered it. And yeah, and then Jacob jumped in. Always appreciate Jacob. We have one person here, Jacob Roman. Here, I'm gonna reply here. Let Jacob Roman know. Answer or looking at this now on the stream, and I totally every time I forget. Can I copy this? How do I? You really won't let me copy it. Here, I'm gonna. Okay, I'm just gonna post the stream right there. And then this person wanted us to look at their resume. They were recently laid off in November. On the hunt for a new role. Would anyone look at my resume and such? So here is the resume. Here's the website. Let's hop into the site and we'll pop open the resume. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, so it's been a long time since I've hired for any position. Like when I was at PayPal, I did that, but it's been, let's see, I got hired at PayPal 9 years ago, and then I left 3 years later. So, yeah, it's been quite a while, 6 years since I was in. You know what? Actually, when I was at Remix, I interviewed people, and we decided on hiring folks. Oh yeah, Roman is in YouTube. What's going on? So, oh, Jacob Roman, yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, it's been a while since I've actually hired. So I just want to caveat everything I say with that. And that was all well, no, Remix was post-COVID, so it was a little bit. But anyway, I just like to caveat that stuff. I don't do this every day. But here's my thoughts. Let's say that I'm hiring a web developer. I'm assuming that's what you're trying to go for. So I'm looking at your resume, and I'm seeing a lot of bullet points, and that's it's different from what I typically see. I see we've got just these 2 items. Probably you've only worked at 2 companies. That's not a problem at all. Lots of times I'll see like education somewhere, or like a section for core competencies or something. Not necessarily do you need that. And if you don't have a formal education, that's fine to leave that off also. But that was my first, like, oh, where's the education? Where's the core competency section? I'm actually pretty cool with not having a core competencies and just going straight to here's my impact. So this is pretty good. I'm guessing this was since you mentioned clients here, I'm guessing this was an agency. I like that you call out that that was remote. That's useful information to know that you've had experience with remote work. Yep. 2 years is like good amount of time on that client, and yeah, another 2 years in that. Like, so you have longevity, and that's good. You've got 3 years. Wow, you're just like April to April, May to May, October to October. Like, I don't know if I were hiring you in February, I'd be worried every February that you're. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't be worried at all. It's fine. I just noticed that was interesting. So I actually like the bold letters. People are reading through these things really fast, and actually, it's very likely that an AI is going to be going through this before a human does. That seems to be increasingly the case, which is a problem. I don't know what to suggest for you for that. I've never used any tools like that, but that's what I hear is that those tools are being used. I don't know how to game those, or I don't think you should, but anyway. I'll talk about what I think you should do here in a second. We got tech lead responsibilities for building fully functioning e-commerce. Okay, so that's like that. This isn't a statement of impact. It's more just like a summary. So I might even just remove the bullet point for anything that's not a statement of impact. So that could be like just a summary underneath here, and then you have your bullet points of like, here is what happened because of the work that I did. And so here's another thing where like this is the experience that I had sort of thing. So you collaborated with 2 to 3 front-end developers and 1 primary back-end. Yep, that's client requested features. Yeah, so like working with clients. Again, like this is describing your experience, not the impact that you had, which is also fine. Like demonstrating that you have that experience is a good thing. Integrate CMS content stack. So this is a thing that you're experienced with again. Develop front-end page templates for products locations. Improved existing code base by reducing bundle size by 20%. There you go. That's an impact. I would take it even further if it's possible for you to say like how that impacted the load time performance, and even more how that because this is e-commerce, how that impacted the bottom line on sales. If you have some sort of way that they were measuring conversions and things, and you can tie this. So this is like a thing you did, and what employers want to see is the impact you made. And so the thing you did had an impact. If you can demonstrate that in some way, you could even, like, if you can't for sure, but you could kind of make a guess of some kind, then you could say likely increased conversion rate by X, and then like they can ask you about like how did you come to that conclusion. So reduce number of API calls, introduction of React Query. So you have experience with React Query. That's good. React Query. I think like both of these, the reduced number of API calls, that had an impact of some kind. Can you tell me what that impact was? Introduction of React Query. That means you know how to use React Query. Also great. A lot of companies use React Query. But again, I think so don't drop React Query, that's for sure. And also, you mentioned context stack and Google Maps. Though, like, it's good to demonstrate you have experience with those things from the time that you were here. But yeah, try to figure out how you can get to an impact that, especially numbers that say like, yeah, your 20% bundle size reduction is awesome. So like, see what numbers you can bring into this, and dollar amounts are very much appreciated. Introduced, and actually percentages are also really appreciated. Like if you're a really small company, you could say, I saved us $500,000 a year, and that's like, wow, that's awesome. Like that's incredible at a smaller company. Whereas a like massive company like ExxonMobil or PayPal or something, that'd be like, yeah, that's awesome. But like you can teach people how to not drink so much at the drinking fountain, or not waste water at the drinking fountain, save $500,000 a year. So like it's different. And so percentages and dollar amounts are really valuable if you can find those. Introduce the method of incremental static regeneration to help render out product pages. Again, that's like something that we want to see. What is the impact of that? Like, okay, sure, you did that, but like, why does that matter? And a lot of hiring managers aren't maybe gonna know what that means. So like that also is why impact matters a lot. Showcase the difference between ISR and SSG. So like this demonstrates how to communicate, and that's good. So I don't think we need to drop the point altogether. But again, there's like probably the more interesting thing is if you could turn this into a number and then like led the initiative or like presented and then implemented ISR, which did like had this impact, made our pages load faster or our builds much faster or whatever. And then our builds were faster, and therefore we could ship faster. Bugs were fixed faster by X% or whatever. That would be really awesome. Mentored multiple front-end developers, also awesome. You were the tech lead, and so like you might combine those thoughts or something. But I would try to make the bullet points be impact focused. And then you could have prose that kind of describes what the job was, what you did on the job. Especially since you do have room on the resume if you get rid of some of the, or replace the bullet points for descriptions of the job. So some more team. I think I've kind of explained things, so I'm going to go through the rest of this pretty quickly. Nice, you got XState. That's super duper cool. I love XState as well. And like something you could say with XState is how it reduces the errors or like bugs, developer bugs, makes it so that developers are more productive in that code base, whatever. Working with that with higher confidence that they're not going to break anything. Increase revenue by 2 million. Yes, by engineering a tiered subscription model. That's huge. Put that at the top. Yeah, that is big. People, yeah, they want to see that. Enable to country-specific users to refund a game in specific use cases. Okay. Yeah, let's get to an impact on that one. Developer productivity. Yeah, sweet. If you can somehow like give me hours. How many hours did you save? And I don't want you to make up numbers. Like, don't just pull it out of your rear end. But like, have some sort of calculation. Make it clear that this isn't a precise number, and then by about or an estimated or whatever, and then in the interview they can look at that and be like, oh, okay, tell me about that. Like a lot of the time, if I am going to be interviewing somebody, they're going to give me the resume. I'm going to look through the points and like pick out a couple things I want to ask the interviewee about. So giving them as many really positive things to ask about is really good. So give me an estimate on how this increased developer productivity, like what the impact of that was, and that would be good. Maintain multiple services. Yep, that's also good. Good stuff. Okay. Created and maintained open source accessibility, focused component library. That's cool. Maintained 1 billion download Axe Core. Oh, you were at DQ. Yeah, okay. Now that makes sense. I was like, really? That's cool. Good for you. Very cool. Yeah, Axe Core is very awesome. I'll bet you a lot of people reading this won't know what Axe Core is, but throwing in that 1 billion download, that was good. Yeah, definitely good. Engineered manual testing portion of Axe Core with millions of users. That is awesome. Implemented React Postgres. Wow. What? That's cool. Within a browser extension. My goodness. That's kind of like niche knowledge is browser extension stuff. But that's like, you don't want to leave it off. But that like some people are going to look. There might be some companies that actually, man, we really need a browser extension. This is perfect. Other companies are going to look at that and be like, okay, yeah, browser extension, cool. But million users, very cool. engineer multiple manual testing tools to help detect accessibility issues. Very cool. You got an extra space right here, just, or at least it looks like there's an extra space. Yoink. Is that an extra space? Maybe, maybe not. Don't bother if it's, whoa, oh my gosh. Don't bother if it's not. Worked with, man, I should have done this a long time ago. Oh, I just realized I'm not showing my, my camera anymore. Hello. Worked with a team within an agile environment, had regular stand-up code reviews. Yeah, okay, you've worked in an agile environment before. So yeah, like some people might disagree with me, but I think that turning some of these non-impact points, like I have experience with this, into some prose at the beginning that kind of describes what the project was about and what your role was, can be useful, and then making the bullet points be like, here's the impact of me being there, and this is what I will be able to do for you if you hire me. That's kind of what's in my mind. Hopefully that is helpful. Okay, and then for your website, cool. You've got light and dark mode, so that's fun. Oh, you know what? I'll bet you I know this is a remix site. And you know how I know that? Because when I clicked on the toggle for the theme, it didn't toggle right away. Toggle and toggle. And the reason it's not toggling right away is because you're doing it right and you're making it so you can server render the correct theme. So you're sticking it in a cookie. But the problem is that you're doing that server side, which is the way we do cookies. So like the cool thing is that I can go over here and I can say block scripts and your toggle still works. So that's cool. But people don't block scripts and it's fine. And so we're going to progressively enhance this a little bit. And we're going to say, let's just look at how the Epic Stack does it. That's what we're going to do. So in the Epic Stack, we do the same thing. We still have this progressive enhancement piece. Or we still have this, like it works without JavaScript or before the JavaScript loads thing. But we take it a step further. Whoops, not routes, route. And then if we go to theme switch, here we go. Oh, you know what? We moved it over here. So the theme switch, it renders. Oh yeah, this redirect. Yeah, that's. You could just grab this whole thing, and we do a bunch of stuff. So like, one problem with moving this theme switch into this full stack component is that now the action is to /resources/theme switch, which means without JavaScript, the user is going to be redirected to this page, and we want them to be redirected back to where they came from. And so that's what this redirect to thing is all about. I actually just realized there's no, that's fine. So anyway, so we get the progressive enhancement, but we also make it optimistic. So we have this use optimistic theme mode where we have a fetcher. Where is our fetcher? So we have our fetcher for the theme switch. And so while the theme switch is in flight, we're going to return the theme from that submission. And so our use theme is going to, it actually comes from 3 possible places. We have hints, the request info, and use optimistic mode, or the optimistic theme. So if we are in an if the user is submitting their switched theme, then we're going to use the one that they're switching it to. If it is system, then we're going to use the one that we get from hints. You can look into client hints later. And then it's really cool. Otherwise, we'll go with what the optimistic mode is. And then if there is no optimistic mode, then we're going to go with the user preferences, which comes from the cookie. And then we'll fall back to the client hint for the theme. So this is cool. You could snatch all of this stuff from the Epic Stack to make that experience a little bit better. There we go. Okay, and people like me to do dark mode when I live stream, so we're going to do that. Jacob Roman, also Roman Bytes. Yeah, this is all good. I have a blog. Uh, I don't write much. Don't apologize. Don't like pre-apologize. Just delete that. Yeah, get rid of that. Like talk yourself up. I'm amazing. Look at all these writings. More to come. And then write some things so that it's not just one. Um, and then I have a number of side projects. Um, tell me like why should I click on this link? Both of these. Give me a reason to click on that link. I have a number of side projects I'm currently working on. Yeah, lots of us do. What is so cool about yours that I should be motivated to click on that link? And I don't write much and looking to change. Okay, I guess I won't click on that link because there's probably not many blog posts there. No, I write about this, that, and the other. Oh, I'm interested in the other. Okay, great. I'm going to click on this link. We've got some sort of thing here. Okay. Oh, actually, another little quick remix tip for you. I would make these links have an intent or a prefetch on intent. So when I hover over them, like, I think I want to click on that. And then I click on it and it's instant transition, even if we're on a slower network connection. So that would be a good thing. And yeah, those are all good things too. Another thing is get yourself a professional photographer or like a friend with a really good camera and have them take your picture and then stick that picture on here and stick it on everywhere. Make like I love that your last name is Roman and you're really leaning into that with your Roman helmet. I think that's cool. People connect with faces, not Roman helmets. And so I know some people are like, I have a face for radio, but like that's what anybody in the world, you get a professional photographer or even just somebody with a nice camera, clean yourself up, get yourself a picture. People will connect with you better. So get yourself a picture. You don't have to stick that on here on the resume. I think I did that once and it was fine, but like it's not very common to put your picture on the resume. So I like the helmet thing. I think that's cool. I'm into that. But you want a picture here, you want a picture here and here and here, and they like you just want people to see your face. Yeah, there you are. You're a good-looking guy. So just stick that picture on all of these places so that anytime they see your face, they're like, oh yeah, I know Jacob. He's really good at this, whatever. And that's way fun. Huh. This is fun. Is this like what you're listening to right now? What is this? Interesting. Okay, anyway, just getting distracted. But yeah, Jacob, I think that you've got a very impressive resume. Lots of really good things. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Let me just check out all the comments that you've been leaving this whole time. Why is YouTube? Come on. Chat is not available. You got to be joking. Come on, try again. No? Okay, fine. Let me go over to live. Really, a very impressive resume. Lots of really good things. Hopefully that was chat, helpful to you. And then we're gonna close that. What? Really? Do I have to leave it open? YouTube, come on. For me to be able to see the chat? Pop out chat. Okay, fine. Restore chat. Well, that's annoying. Anyway, yes, good stuff. Let me just make sure I cover Roman's thoughts. Yep, very good. Okay, awesome. Alan, hi. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not keeping my promise. I focus on the Discord chat first, or channel. So if you really want to get your question answered first, you'll actually come to the Zoom call. But if you don't do that, then come to the Discord. Okay, sweet. I have a question for the next stream. I want to implement. Here, let me let Lauren know that I'm here. Answering this on the stream now. And let's go up. Yoink. I want to implement a progress bar, and the load data comes to me through events with Mercure. I've heard of Mercure. Each event I'm setting it in the state within a context, but I understand that's irrelevant. The problem is it goes so fast that I get an error. Oh, that's interesting. Maximum update depth exceeded. Use effect problem. Oh, well, this is going to be hard for me to diagnose without actually seeing the code. But what's likely happening is your use effect has a dependency array, and the things that you're using inside of your use effect callback need to be referenced in that dependency array. And if you're including anything in that dependency array that changes inside the use effect callback, then that is going to happen a lot. So it actually probably has nothing to do with how fast it goes, probably more likely has something to do with your use effect. So here, let's try this. Let me show you an example of how this can happen and how common it is. Please make a simple React app that demonstrates a runaway use effect, which sets state that it depends upon. Let's see if Bolt can do this for me. And because I said please, it'll do it nicely. Here we go. Right here. Oh man, this is so cool. I love this stuff. And we even get this alert triangle and stuff. Ah, run away! Yeah. Potential problem detected. It knows. It knows. Yeah, look at this. Okay, so what's going on here? And actually, this should blow up. Here, let's see why. Let's look at the code and see why it might not be. No. Yeah, this should absolutely be blowing up right now. But this is. Why is that not blowing up? Yeah, I can't even scroll because the. Yeah, it's stuck. Stop. How do I stop it? Here. Oh, great. I need to have it add a stop button. Cause what the? All right. Yeah, here we go. Add a stop and start button. Here we go. Okay, great. Man, I love generating little mini apps with AI. It is so cool. So if I start and then stop, there we go. So here's what's going on. At least this is what I think. You've got something similar to this. You might have the set count inside of a like fetch then sort of thing. Like that also could be a thing, but like that's going to be the same problem. You could have it in a set timeout, you like some sort of callback. But the fact is, you're referencing something that changes because of a thing that you do. So you're depending on something that's going to change inside of this callback. And that is what's causing those maximum reruns of the use effect. I'm not sure why I'm not reproducing the error that you described, because I expected that this would. Like normally it detects these runaway effects. And so like I could be misunderstanding what's going on. But this is most likely the problem. The way that you solve this is you can say this accepts a function that takes your previous count and then returns the new count. And by doing this, now I no longer need to depend on the count. And check this out. Start, stop. And now it's incrementing, and that is happening because isRunning is changing between those. So that's how you would fix that. Or like one common way to fix this problem is if you do need the previous state, you can get it in the state updater. Not sure that quite answers the code, or the question, but that's probably maximum update depth exceeded. I need to, here, let's see. Where, please make me a React code. Here, actually, let's try this. Please now make it so it can reproduce the error in use effect. Let's see what it does. Yeah, we're not getting the error though. That's the weird thing. Like I have seen this error before, and I'm pretty sure this is what causes it, but I'm not sure why it's not. Oh, no, there it is. Ha! It's logging. We just weren't looking at the console. But yeah, that's exactly what's going on. That's your problem. So good luck. And now, yeah, Ryan is asking, so AI will code the app for you? Kind of, not exactly. It's really good at giving you a good start, and then you use your editor with AI to help you with stuff. But here, check this out. Now fix it. And there we go. That's exactly how I said you fix it. You fix it by taking the previous value, and you no longer depend on, yeah, so we have an interval, because it kind of interpreted what I was wanting to do as like, I do want the numbers to go up. I just don't want the maximum increase thing. But anyway, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. Cool. Hopefully that answers your question. Where did our Discord go? Here we go. Good luck. Okay, that's it for what we have in Discord. And now we've got some chats. Gen code and file write. Can it review code on the fly while writing? Yeah, kind of. So like, I don't typically use Bolt when in my day-to-day work. You should watch my actual live stream. I'll be live streaming today a lot, actually. So tune in a little bit with the new live stream. But I use Cursor Editor, and it's fabulous. It's great. We have some really good AI tools now. Alvaro asked, what if the state is a object? What if the state is an object? I keep on forgetting to talk to my computer instead of type to it. So here's what you can do. We got our counter state, last updated, updates. Okay. You can still access the previous state. And this is how you would solve that problem as well. So still depending on the previous state. Now, wrong way, would cause error. Yeah. Yeah, because you have to include the counter state inside of there. Man, this is so cool. I love this thing. No more. You know what? One of the reasons why lots of my demos in Epic React and Epic Web and everything are like so what's the word I'm looking for? Spartan, like free of things that look nice. One reason is I want to like simplify the code that we're writing. Don't like include a whole bunch of Tailwind classes and stuff. But the other reason is I don't want to take the time to like make it look good, because I'm not good at that. I just am not. I can't. I don't know. I can look at something and be like, that doesn't look good, but I can't like fix it. And so without like somebody telling me what to do and giving me a design. But now I think I could probably just like toss something at this, and then I could probably hide these Tailwind classes behind components or something so that the exercise still doesn't have all of that. I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this. Anyway, I digress. Hopefully that answers the questions. So you must use set interval. It's the solution that I used. So I mean, it's just giving an example of a stopwatch. And this actually has some problems with it. So Overreacted from Dan Abramoff has a making set interval declarative with React hooks, where he explains the problem with what we have right now. It has to do with the interval value. Here, let's see if we've got first attempt. So here, this is basically the first attempt. But it has strange behavior. Let's see. Let me see where React by default reapplies effects after every render. This is intentional. It's usually good. When we clear interval, set interval, their timing shifts. Yeah. And so some of the intervals never get a chance to fire. So like read through this blog post. It'll explain. So like the problem is that maybe you're halfway through this interval when this gets cleared. And so now you start a whole nother 1,000 millisecond count. And so then the interval is like 1,500 milliseconds instead of just 1,000. So That's why, and so he has like the solution and other hooks that are based on this blog post. But yeah, so like the solution doesn't have as much to do with the set interval as it does with not like the whole point is don't reference the state that you're changing inside of the use effect. And the way that you do that is by referencing it inside of the state updater. So you get it inside of the state updater, and then you can use it to update your state. Yeah. So anyway, that was fun. Thanks for the question. Hopefully that's good. Okay. Now, coming over to chat, I'm going to take a look at YouTube because that's the most active. That message was retracted. I wonder if I can still see it over here. This is... oh, interesting. Yeah, sorry, don't have bots. All right, Discord is closed for Turkey. Oh, I'm sorry. Dang, I didn't know that. Man, sorry, friends in Turkey. That stinks. Of course, it's great. One of my friends was showing me this. Laugh my rear end off. Okay. All right. Again, as a senior front-end developer, delivering features efficiently and improving soft skills, I feel stuck technically on my path to staff. What approach would you recommend to breakthrough? Yeah, so I like it sounds like you're doing the right things. You're delivering features efficiently, improving soft skills. I would say like one of those soft skills needs to be communicating effectively, and so make sure that you're doing that, that you're like communicating your successes, your team's successes on your path to staff. Like one of the things that you want to do in general when trying to get work and things is, oh, you know what? I just realized my face is like over the questions. Yoink. Here we go, over the chat. Yeah, so one of the things that you want to do in general is behave in the way of the position that you want, right? And so I actually talk about this a little bit in my blog post called Stop Being a Junior. Where is that? Yep. And so, let's see. Yeah, here we go. What do senior developers do in your company? Do that instead of the things junior developers do. That's it. Of course, like you don't want to overstep. You don't want you want to make sure that you're doing the tasks that you've been assigned. But the way that you do this is you volunteer to participate in the sorts of things that seniors do. And so once people see, oh wow, they're doing the sort of thing that the staff engineer is doing, then I'm going to give them the staff position because they already know how to do it. Like you don't have to go to your boss and say, I'd like to try out being a staff engineer. They see that you already are doing the things that a staff engineer would do. And they say, well, yeah, I know that you can do this because you have been doing it. So I'm going to let you do that. So like those would be a couple of the things. You want to volunteer for those types of tasks. You want to communicate the value that you're creating. Staff engineers are going to be big enablers of other engineers. So there is no such thing as a 10x developer, but there's a developer that makes 10 developers twice as productive. And so like that is what staff engineers are supposed to do. So hopefully that helps answer your question. Great question. I have a general question. If you have learned something not right, how do you unlearn it? Oh man, that is a tough one. Intentionally, like you're not going to do that by accident. You really do need to take a step back, read the documentation, understand how things work at a lower level. Let's say that you have the wrong mental model for React hooks and you've been treating them like life cycle events, like component did mount and component will receive props and stuff like that. So then you're going to say, oh, okay, I totally misunderstood how this works. I'm going to go deep and really understand how it works. And actually on that specific one, I've got just the thing for you. we've got a free tutorial on Epic React, build React hooks, where we learn React hooks from scratch. In fact, some of you might be watching this and you're like, I didn't think I wanted that, but now I do. So I'm going to link it to you. Yeah, so that's one example of I understood something wrong. Let me like back up, understand it or like rework my mental model at a fundamental level, and then hopefully that like improves your understanding of it a lot. So yeah, good question. Also buy the Epic React. Yeah, thank you. That's nice. Thank you very much. Hope that helps you, Ryan. Can anyone refer me, please? I'm a front-end developer and I want to grow. Keep on participating in the community, and one tip I can give you is put a face for your avatar, so that like I can see your face and like recognize you all over the place. Not just me, but like people in general. Yeah. So anyway, it's 10:28. I'm gonna shut things down. I've not got any more chats here in Discord. And oh, I just noticed a chat in here. What? Taryn says there's a book called Staff Engineer's Path. Came highly recommended. Oh, that's cool. Here, let's look it up together. Staff Engineer's Path. Well, Path G. Here we go. Is it? Which one of these?
The Amazon link. I think the is part of the title.
There it is. A guide for individual computers navigating growth and change. Very cool. And would you look at that? It is on Audible as well, so I can read it because I can't read words. I just listen to them. Yeah, take a look at that book. That looks good. Okay, cool. Yep, I think we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna just go on a little walk, get a drink, and then I'll come back and I'll start a new stream. What I'm gonna be doing is adding passwordless authentication to the Epic Stack, because I'm giving a talk about that tonight at a meetup, and I need to do that. So we're going to be working on that all day today. Hopefully it doesn't take terribly long, so that I can be ready to give that presentation tonight. This is how you get stuff done, people, is you sign up to give talks, and then, wow, look at all this stuff that I have to get done now. I better get it done, and then you just make it happen. I want to go play some like video games. I want to play Legend of Zelda somewhere or something. Echoes of Wisdom would be fun. No, instead I'm going to be working on that because I committed to do that. So there you go. Get more done by committing to more things. All right, with that, we're going to just say goodbye. So yeah, thank you for joining, and I look forward to the next time that we can join each other. Peace.